crab people, blue heavy metal people. Green people, crab people, blue heavy metal people. Green people, crab people, blue heavy metal people.
The scenario is going to be Destruction. It is a 2015 Steamroller scenario. It includes Kill Box. You need 5 points to win. You get 1 point for controlling the zone, 2 points for dominating. You can't do either of those, though, until you destroy the enemy objective, and doing so will give you 1 control point. You can't do any of the scoring, though, until the second player's second turn. Hey there guys, this is me, Malorian, and this will be another War Machine Wednesday Battle Report. In this one here today, we are going to be having Phil with his Cygnar, and he's going to be running a Darius double Stormwall list. And on the other side, we're going to have Mark with his Legion with his twins, Saren and Rias, and this one's going to be a double Croak Raider build. So it's going to be an interesting game. The Legion won the initiative, and they decide they want to go first. That's good for a couple of reasons, because one, in this type of scenario where odds of scenario are low, because once the Stormwall gets in there, it's pretty much off the table. You want to try and get a jump on board positioning, so that if you do want to try trapping a Stormwall, you have to get there early. Plus, this is Kill Box, and so that's going to be forcing Darius ahead of the wall there, and so the assassination game is really real here as well. So otherwise, what's going to be happening here is that both units of Croak Raiders are going to be going up. The spawning vessel is going to be going up. Nago will run up. Zerial is going to run up. That little floating sperm there, that's actually the Seraph. His body is magnetized, but it keeps on falling apart. So he does that just for ease, so he doesn't have to fix it all the time. But that's a Seraph. Otherwise, he's going up here with Saren and Rias, and he's going to be putting up Psychic Vampire on the unit and Occultation up onto the front Croak Raiders there to give them stealth. Another thing to keep in mind is that since he has both Saren and Rias here, that means that Zerial is going to be getting both the Arc Node ability and also Stealth. So pretty nice boost to have there for Zerial. And otherwise, that's going to be pretty much it. And we're going to go over here to Cygnar turn 1. Now, he has a couple of options. He could just kind of go up and put up covering fire. Another one we talked about is you could trample forward and put pods and then try and doing some calls with your storm callers, start killing off some of these croaks. The way that he decided to go is that he was going to just walk up here and put up the covering fire. He'd love to do some shooting here, but Zerial is out of range, and of course all the little croaks there have stealth, so you can't shoot them. But otherwise what happened is that Darius went up, and he put on full throttle so that these guys could run for free and could boost for free. Wasn't really needed, but he also put up the Fortify up onto the bottom storm wall. And then Junior's going to be going and be putting Arcane Shield onto the top storm wall. So the bottom one will be Armor 22. Armor 21. Top one will be Armor 22. Otherwise, he's throwing out some pods out there, and there's some half-jacks there. Just kind of be in the way. The Blazer is also sneaking up there in the flanks behind the woods. And now we're on to Legion turn 2. And he needs to decide now what he wants to try and go for. Of course, between the objective and the covering fire, he is kind of limited into where he can move the croaks. But one thing that is kind of nice here is that the range of the templates can only be up to 10 inches out, and that's the range of the Croak Raiders. So really, if you move them to the point where they're touching but not in, then they are technically in range. But he's going to be trying to go here after the Tempest Blazers. He's going to charge over here as Zerial, so that he's now in a good spot for being an arc node. Otherwise, he's going to be coming over here with, say, like the Naga, shoot something. He's going to come up here with the Seraph. I believe the Seraph is going to be taking some shots at a half-jack or something after it slipstreams up Saren a bit. And what he's going to be doing is then using Rias and Saren to be arcing through here. So Rias is getting in a nice, dangerous position up here in the zone, kind of waiting for Darius. And Saren's going to be coming over to arc through Zerial here to put Mark for Death onto the Blazers. That's going to be allowing his guys to shoot them without line of sight and give them +2 to hit. So that's going to be pretty helpful. Hoping he can kill some of those guys off with the Croak Raiders. That'd be pretty nice. And then otherwise here, I believe the next the Croak Raiders will be going after them. Now, the thing with this, even with Mark for Death, is that they're normally defense 15. They're in the woods to go up to defense 17. So even if you drop that to 15 again, that means that the Croak Raiders need 9s. So he's going to be getting a gourd in there, which is going to be gourding for them, but then all the shots are going to be missing. After that, he is going to get a gourd onto the storm wall, and it's going to be affected, and then when he does hit the storm wall, just doesn't get the damage he needs to actually do anything to the storm wall. Some bottom ones also going against the bottom storm wall. They're actually both going to be on fire, but no damage whatsoever. Meanwhile, whereas the Blazers are flanking one way, the Croaks are flanking down the bottom side, so they're going to try and get away and around and try and be a little bit annoying. Otherwise, you know, the Scythian moves to be threatening to anything that gets in the zone, but it can't be charged because of the house. And now we're on to Cygnar turn 2. So you're going to see here that, of course, those covering fires are going to disappear, but this is a real turn where he gets to kind of decide what he wants to go after. Kill box will be a real factor, and if he doesn't get Darius out, that could be an issue. You know, you have to try and get something in the zone for sure then, but do you want to go in there with both of your storm walls or what? But what he's going to do in here is he's going to come up here with Darius and cast full throttle. So again, his jacks get the charge for free and they get boosted to hits. He's going to take a shot here, but it's not going to really do very much. It's going to scatter around to both Rias and Saren, but they have like tenacity on themselves. They're fine. So that's really it. Then Darius is done. He's camping 3. The storm wall, the bottom one's going to charge in, and so it's going to be really going after these Croak Raiders. Between the regular attacks and just the Electro Leaps, he doesn't need to even buy attacks. They all just kind of disappear. And then he's going to be dropping a pod over here to kill 2 out of 3 Croaks over here. And yeah, just really trying to kill off all the Croak Raiders. Otherwise, here at the top, now the other Stormwall charges in, and he's going to be doing a little bit of damage. I think it could have placed it a little bit more carefully, so he could have maybe got more of them. But it was really hard positioning because of the objective being there. So, you know, it's kind of a tough one to do. Otherwise, Stormcallers coming in, they're going to do a little bit more zaps. Some of the half-jacks are going to be moving around. They're going to be kind of getting up there, being ready to be bombs or whatever. But, yeah, you can see here that definitely the Croaks really took a big hit. I believe the bottom ones, they probably lost about 3 of their Croaks. And the top ones, after he's done here at the Blazers, they're going to be down just only 1 Croak Raider. Unfortunately here, he went and also tried doing a bunch of shots against Zerial. And that was all a waste because of stealth, they're just all going to miss. So either way, he does some pretty good damage. They're going to fast cav again just to keep on being annoying. And that's really the end of turn 2 Cygnar. So now we're on to turn 3 of Legion. And this is where he has some options open here for him as well. Darius is there in range of Rias. So the assassination is, of course, a thing. First of all, he's going to do some extra stuff. The 1 Croak Raider will go up against the objective. I think he does a little bit of damage there. Otherwise, the Nag is going to come over, put its Animus onto the Scythian, so it's going to ignore the defensive buff of the Stormwall. So that's a pretty handy thing, because, I mean, if you want to get in there and do some awesome work against a Stormwall, you can't be trying to deal with its +2 or +3 armor as well. Otherwise, the pot comes up and it's full of corpses, so it's going to make a Shredder. The Shredder is going to go up there and try and go up against the objective, but I think it does like really crappy. And then as well, because it's an Arcane Wonder, it's also doing the Plasma Nimbus back, and POW 10s are pretty good against Armor 12 Lessers, and so that Shredder actually gets really damaged from as well. So now the Scythian is going to be going in up against that 1 Stormwall, going in there, but he's going to have some pretty horrible dice. He's actually going to be missing 2 of his attacks, and at the end, you know, killing about half the Stormwall, but he really was hoping to get a little bit more work done. So right now, where he's trying to make the decision about whether to kill the Stormwall or go after Darius, you know, if the Scythian would have done a little bit more work, he might have gone for that, but it just didn't really end up being the way that he wanted. So he's going to be spending quite a bit of time on his clock this turn, just trying to decide which way to go and what he's going to do, because this could definitely be a very key point in the game. You know, if you take out a Stormwall and keep your guys alive, attrition can turn around really quickly. However, if you go after the storm wall and fail, well, then he'll just pop feet and fix it. And if you go after Darius and fail, you're just wasting a lot of activations. He's going to kill Rias and all that stuff. So now Zuriel is going to be charging in here into the storm walls. By the way, on the first turn, all the fires went out, but now he's going to be back on fire again from the Zuriel flame. And Zuriel really didn't do that much. He did a little bit more. I believe the storm wall is down to like 12 boxes now or something like this. But now he's going for the assassination. So the Rias is going to be charging in. Saren's actually charging the Scythian just to kind of get within range. And he's going to make some attacks here, but the dice just aren't with him. When he's trying to boost his attacks, he didn't get any crit decaps. Did get actually some okay damage. I believe he did like 12 damage overall or something, or 7. So it wasn't really bad. Yeah, I think it was more around like 7. But the assassination did fail, and now all he can do is really try and wait things out. So the Croak Raiders, they're going to be kind of coming around the flank, and they're going to try and, just try and going after Darius, but then he realized, oh yeah, I can't really shoot there that easily because he's engaged with Rias. So yeah, his defense is actually defense 17. That's not going to work. So he shoots down some other little things, just like the odd Stormcaller there, and that's really going to be it. So now we're going on to turn 3 Cygnar, and now he has some things to deal with. He has a storm wall he needs to fix, so he gets a half-jack going towards it, another half-jack turning into a bomb, and he has a Rias in his face. So he wants to kill off these beasts, he wants to kill off Rias, and just trying to keep this attrition train going. This is really kind of a really good situation for him, other than, Rias being in his face, and as long as he can do some good things here, it's going to work out pretty well for him. So I think right now he's just kind of trying to figure out which way he wants to go with this, whether he wants to go after the Scythian or go after Zuriel first. And so he's going to start here with, what's-his-face, with Darius, and he's actually did a bunch of jackhammers. So did a bunch of jackhammers to Zuriel, really hurt him, came up here to Rias and tried attacking, missed, and so Rias got to attack back, but luckily for Darius, Rias missed the riposte attack. But here's the big thing, guys. He forgot to pop feet. So the bottom storm wall is not what it's supposed to be. It turns over and makes a little bit of attacks, but doesn't really do too well because one of its arms is down. Junior is now going to be switching over the arcane shield up onto Darius to try and keep him alive. The other storm wall is going to be turning around. It's going to take one punch to try and kill off Zuriel, which is going to work. And then he's going to make his other attack against Rias, which is going to miss. And so Rias is there and alive, and that's kind of a problem. So otherwise, he's now going to be trying to go with his Stormcaller. He's going to be trying to go in there and triangulate and zap and all this stuff. A little bit of plinking damage on the Saren, or not the Saren, onto Rias, but nothing really too big here. And so now the Blazers are going to be going up, and they'll be doing their thing. So what he's actually be focusing on here is trying to just decimate this pot. He thought he could make some attacks against Saren, and he probably could. But then, I believe Stealth is up, and he doesn't have a lot of good spots to try and, jump into her. So he's just going to really go more after everything else that's over here. The last Croak is going to die. All the little pot ladies for the spawning vessel, they're going to get slaughtered. And that's really it. So now looking at this, it's not really a good spot for the Cygnar player. But the one problem that there is that Legion, their clock is really low. So he needs to make a quick decision whether he wants to go for the attrition or go for the assassination. And he does some stuff like make a Shredder. The Shredder comes over and bites a guy. The Scythian's going to start attacking the storm walls here, the fixed one and also the wrecked one. And eventually this is going to destroy that one. So there's one storm wall down. And now he's going to start making some attacks onto Darius. And again, his dice just aren't really doing it. He gets 5 more damage in there or something. But yeah, just nothing. The one time he gets a crit decap, he doubles 1 to be 2 damage, stuff like that. So just didn't get what he needed to do to go for the kill. And then he's going to pass over the turn just because his time is low. So now he's going to be going here, and it's going to be the Cygnar turn again. And what he really wants to do is kill off this Scythian, kill Rias, and just try and get out of there. And so what's happening right now, though, is that Darius went, he feeded to fix the storm wall, and then the storm wall was trying to hit Rias, but just kept missing. So Rias just kept on cutting away and cutting away. Rias actually killed like half the storm wall almost before finally a hit killed off Rias. Otherwise, then Darius waddles away to stay safe. The storm wall is going to be killing off the Scythian, and at this point he is sitting fairly well. He just needs to kind of keep on attritioning. You know, all the heavies are down except for the Scythian, and so what he's going to be going for here is try and get the assassination, and so he's going to be trying to shoot into here and try and kill Saren, but it's just not going to be enough. She has too many transfers, so by setting it off to, you know, the Seraph, which eventually kills the Seraph, that's going to be really it. It'll go back to the Legion turn, but the Legion turn is starting with only 3 seconds, so he really only has enough time to go over and grab some dice, and that's going to be the game. So the game just ended via clock, so what do you guys think of the game?
It was a good game. My Croaks didn't do a lot, because the first couple times they were pretty much useless against armor 20 plus. And the other ones at the end of the game kind of ran around just to scare Darius a bit. But yeah, some bad rolls with, well, pretty much most of my shit.
One of the things I kind of noticed at the end there is you made a lot of other attacks rather than going straight for the assassination when it ended on clock. Is that, were you trying to like maybe double up, like maybe we killed the, then we might get a scenario thing?
Yeah,
or?
that's exactly what I was trying to go for. Clock's mad at me still.
Yeah.
I've been trying to go for a lot more scenario games just to, I don't know, further myself as a player. Don't just go for the assassination no matter what the chances are. It's a little more forgiving with these two, obviously, because I can feat one back, but yeah, I try to go for, see if I could take out both storm walls.
Okay. And we were talking about that too, where I was wondering if you could actually do mark for death on your assassination, where if she stays at reach, you could still arc through her, right?
That's right, because she is not engaged, but she is engaging. So
yeah, that would have helped out, maybe.
Definitely could have done that.
How about you, Phil? What were your thoughts on the game from the Cygnar side?
I definitely bungled forgetting to feat when the guy was down to 17 boxers or so. And yeah, just I find the Everblight models, like the heavies, are their threat vectors and their ranges are very new to me. So I'm always just trying to step back as far as I can so I don't get assassinated by a heavy. Yeah, I totally didn't remember that she had the ability to run up the middle between the two. I tried to make an alleyway of death. Yeah. And then I did luck out though that she missed so much on Darius, especially with all the boosting.
Yeah.
That was really lucky there.
There's one good decap and it's over, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So going into this, was your game mainly attrition, scenario, caster kill? What did you think that this list was going to go for?
For myself, I was going to try and just weed out the Croak Raiders, hopefully with more so the horses and just keeping them back with covering fire, and then hopefully getting up on some of the heavies, hoping that he would split between, like the armor 20 and 21 and 22 is really hard for not armor bane stuff, or armor piercing stuff to bring down. So yeah, basically just attrition down a heavy or two, then feet back to full life, and then just do it again.
Yeah. I guess, like you already said, like probably your main thing in this was going to be assassination, but just with an eye in scenario just in case.
Yeah, like if try and bully the zone, then you can control it, hopefully. But if not, then try and kill both. Having the two casters that you have to kill is a little tricky though. Trying to set up, like it's easy to pick off, not pick off one, but like aim to pick off one. Yeah, you need to have a backup plan for the second one for sure.
Well, that's exactly it. With the twins, I like having basically you're giving your opponent, they're wasting time trying to figure out an assassination run virtually every turn. Because you're like, oh, can I get both? Oh, how do I do that?
Yeah, and it'll never pay off if you can only get one.
No, exactly. Unless if I run out of time.
Alright guys, well thanks for playing, and for those watching, thanks for watching. Bye. Hey there, if you liked watching this video, please go down and give it a like down below you here. And if you have any concerns or questions or comments, please put those in the comment section as well. You know, the best way for me to give you what you want to see is if you tell me what you like seeing and what you don't like seeing. So otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.